updates on Jayden Quaintance since Monday night? How is his timeline working now?
He had a good practice on Tuesday. First time ever he crossed half court in some drill work, so that was good. We'll see how he is today, and he's making incredible progress. And it's kind of a day-by-day thing, and once he's confident and healthy and cleared, we'll roll.
I know you don't want to set expectations or really have expectations going in, but is there any one thing that when he gets out there immediately, even if it's in 8-10 minutes his first game, that you, I guess, expect to see or think might come out more than something else?
Yeah, I think he's, clearly he's proven to have an incredible impact on the defensive end of the floor in terms of his mobility, his physicality, his rim protection. He's got the capability of being an elite level transition offensive player. He takes up space offensively. I think he's a guy that we could live with in isolation a little bit, or he'd go to work. I think he's a high IQ player that's going to really pick up the feel of how we play quickly. I think he's a terrific talent and great kid, and expect good things from him.
Leaving the door open for him Saturday?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like I said, it's just, you think about it, you think about it, it's like he's been out of basketball for 9 months and crossed half court for the first time in a drill 2 days ago. So we'll see. It literally is, means he's done an unbelievable job on his rehab. And he's kept up with everything in terms of having an off the court concept of what we're trying to do, and so every day is probably going to paint a clearer picture for us.
When was the last day you talked to Coach?
Coach called me after Michigan State had told me to get my act together, so that was the last time I talked to him.
How do you juggle those emotions of former coach for you personally, but also he's my enemy on Saturday?
I don't know. I don't think I'll juggle them at all. Like we have one job and only one job, and that's to go win. And they're not actually, all of my emotions towards Coach are not. They're all focused in exactly the same direction. I love him, and so we're gonna go try and beat him. And he's one of the best all-time coaches in the history of college basketball. So we're going to try and go beat him. And I mean, it's all the same. Like, it all kind of leads to the same end desire.
Mark, what kind of confidence have you seen out of your team this week after that Indiana win? Have you noticed anything different from them?
We're trying to learn ourselves and learn who we can be and what we can be. I think doing the autopsy of that game was good for our guys because it taught us a lot about what we could be in a positive way, and a lot of what we don't want to be in some negative ways. So I think the thing I'm excited about is for us to continue to have a more belief in the specific vision we're chasing, and I think the game is a pretty brutal taskmaster. I mean, it's gonna if you don't buy in, it's gonna hurt you, right? And until you do, and if you're humble and willing enough, you will. And so I think we're making progress. I'm excited about it.
You've spoken a little bit about, this team needs to win, kind of playing a different style maybe than you envisioned right now, like a mucky, kind of gritted out type of style.
Smash mouth basketball.
And I'm curious from your perspective, because obviously we're accustomed to seeing you coach a different style of basketball at your previous stops and even last season here. Just how would you evaluate your own ability to kind of coach within the confines of smash mouth basketball?
I think it's going to be really fun and ugly and gruesome and brutal and violent. It's awesome. It's great. And it won't be forever. It's just for now.
Ed Cooley talked a lot about Big East basketball in the same way after your all's game in October. Are you expecting, with St. John's and the way Coach Pitino coaches, are you expecting smash mouth basketball Saturday to the nth degree? Or
I think there will be some of that for sure. Just looking at the personnel on the court, I think it'll be, I think we probably have two teams that have really, really high ceilings that haven't totally found them yet. I think you have two teams that can, at any given moment could be incredibly explosive. But I think at the heart of it, it's there's going to be a lot of physicality in the game. It should be really fun. It'd be a great game.
You've had a lot of guys that report into you that have developed your coaching style, but can you pinpoint something maybe that you've taken from Coach Pitino that you use in your coaching style?
So much, probably starting with his relentless nature and DNA. I think that's a big deal. His relentless desire to compete. Hopefully his fearless approach to the game. I think those are just general ideas that I take from him. There's a lot of, when I was playing for him, he kind of inverted the game offensively and extended the game defensively, and so there's some flavor of that in things I like to do.
The relentless nature part of it, is that something maybe you already had when you were coming from Washington and maybe you guys connected over immediately, or did he bring more of that out of you when you were here?
I thought coming here that I knew how to work. I think I came here having a good understanding of how to work really, really, really hard. And I left here with having a better understanding of how to translate that work into competitive nature. So yeah, I think both those things were true.
Along those lines, with Cam, how has his intensity been, consistency and intensity, I guess, since the weekend? And is that something, because you talked about that a lot, is that something where he just kind of flips a switch at some point and continues on an upward trajectory, or are there going to be kind of ebbs and flows to that from what you've seen with other guys?
No, I think Cam is. I mean, he's been our best defensive player. Like, he's doing an unbelievable job on that side of the ball, and he's getting more bold and more comfortable on the offensive side of the ball. He's got a massive ceiling. Like, we're not even seeing the beginnings of what he can be. It's just growing. It just is. It's a zigzag process, and so I expect him. There's a lot of guys on this team that I think that are going to look so much different. As we progress through the season, he's one of them. I think he's got a huge high ceiling, and it's just a matter of time and reps and belief and experience for him to get there. But he's got so much to offer this game for sure.
How much of his shooting, kind of slow shooting start, is maybe just trying to get a feel for everything else and getting acclimated to new everything, I guess?
It's just such a small sample size. It's just a small sample size. It's I wish there was more science into it than that, and there's probably little things that contribute to all kind of little things. But I think it's he's a guy that at any given moment could go on a tear and make 30 or 35 threes over the course of 6 games. Right? It's just who he is, and so all the numbers eventually work themselves out to kind of represent who guys are as players. And he's an elite level shooter, and he was before he got here. He is going to be when he leaves here, and he's going to be while he's here. It's just the averages. For him, like all of our guys, every shot they miss. This is not actually. If I was with a statistician, they would argue with me. But every shot they miss is one closer to making shots because it's because we have elite level shooters. So
when you talk about smash mouth basketball and physical style of nature of the Big East and St. John's in particular, how important can this game be for someone like Mo, who kind of naturally plays with that kind of motive?
Yeah, it's important for all of our guys. It's and it should be fun. Like, it should be fun. It should be violent and vicious and fun. And we get to do a lot of work in the trenches. And there's also going to be a tremendous pace to this game. There'll be a whole lot of pace and I think both teams are going to make shots in this game too, so it's going to be the whole thing. But the heart of it being this confrontational spirit of the game will be really fun.
You said a moment ago about Cam's upside, and you've also spoken that way about Andrea previously. And I know no player wants to be a DNP coach's decision like he was on Saturday, but what have you seen in his response the last couple of days in practice that continues to give you indicators of his positive upward trajectory?
Yeah, AJ's great. He's a pro, man. He's going to come play great when he gets a chance to play, and if there's a weird game where he doesn't, he's going to be the greatest teammate ever. That's kind of that's how our team is, and that's how we'll be.
Mark, I know you don't want to make this about you, but I mean, obviously, just the angle of you and Coach Pitino, and he's 18-4 against when he's coached against former players. I mean, how much would a win mean to you personally Saturday? It's important for our program. It's important for our team.
It's not going to change my relationship with Coach at all.
That'd be nice to beat him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, come on. Yes, for sure. Like, I would love to beat him, just like I'd love to beat the next coach that I play against. But this is really important for our team and our program that we continue to grow and evolve as a team and kind of understand who we are.
Has there been any smack talk? We've seen the videos of you guys kind of like FaceTiming going back to the summer or whenever this game was announced. Any behind the scenes?
There's not yet. Not yet.
Will you break out the white suit for this game?
I'm not going white. I don't have it, guys. Can't quite do the white, but I'm going to roll in there appropriately.
There's a lot of talk about denim uniforms potentially for this one. Is there any chance of that, or do you plan on unveiling those at some point this season for the 30th anniversary?
I got to leave that one up to suspense. Yes, I got to leave that one. I have to. I'm contractually obligated by Nike to continue to dance on that.
Coach, you talked about the ball screen defense not too long ago and just this team having faith in that aspect of the game. Have you seen that grow in that aspect and just across the board?
Yeah, it's we still have a lot of frustration there. Listen, ball screen defense is something that it's an elusive win, right? You're going to chase it and hopefully get better and better. We've had really good success so far this season. Overall, it's something that we actually have some really talented guys. Like our bigs are pretty talented. They actually are incredibly mobile and have some aggressiveness to us and some feel. It's just that, it's just us being demanding to hold to a standard every single possession and every single scenario, and our guys are doing that better. So I'm encouraged with that. I think we have space where I still believe we can be an elite level defensive team. We have a lot of work to go to get there, and it's a forever journey. But I have a lot of confidence. I'm proud of what our guys have done so far in growing in terms of that little niche of a defensive game plan. And I think we'll keep getting better and better.
Mark, what stands on a film about St. John's?
Well, they play with great pace. They're really, really physical. It's interesting. We've played some teams where they're leading scorers, or they're 4 and 5. Like they kind of lead the way for them, and certainly St. John's is in that space. They're going to take every opportunity they can to pressure and hack and foul and grab and scratch and claw, and so the game will be a 94-foot game for sure. They're really well connected. They make it really hard for you to get downhill. They're pretty. They kind of build a wall, 5 guys across, and it's hard for you to get into the paint. So they make that challenging, and every possession begins and ends on the glass, and that's a really important part of their team. But a great team. And obviously well coached.
Are there things they do that, like, maybe you only pick up on because you played for Coach P? There's subtle things that no one really pick up on if they hadn't played.
Well, the things that are really familiar. There are some things. I mean, listen, I played for Coach 30 years. Is that true? 30? 30 years ago. 30 years ago. And when I played for Coach, he said he was 3 or 4 years away from retiring. So, but he's evolved and grown and changed as a coach for sure, but like the DNA of him is still there. You watch the film, you're like, man, I don't know if he's coaching him to do this, but this is exactly how he coached us to do some things. And so there's a real, for sure, familiarity there.
You mentioned the glass as well with St. John's. They're another really talented offensive rebounding team that you've gone up against a few times. How more prepared are you for that, and is there anything they do differently attacking the offensive glass?
So it's so much of their offensive, so much of them is their 4s and 5s. It's really their 4s and 5s that are just getting busy, and their starting 4s and 5s and their backup 4s and 5s are really good on the glass, and they're pretty relentless. It starts with Zuby. He's so physical. He just take you and discard you out of the way and cause havoc on the glass. And so it'll be a whole team effort to try and win that side of the ball.
Does that impact the Jaden decision at all, knowing that it's kind of a personnel fit, that he thrives in an area that they really thrive in as well?
Not really. JQ is just. So it's hard as a coach because the only thing that matters is this game. It's the only thing that ever matters is this game. for someone that's like had this incredible comeback from a really massive injury that's got a massive future in this game. Like when I'm thinking about JQ, I can't just think about this game as much as I would like to. His future is really important, and his rehab has been incredible. But it's rehab, and it's so we're monitoring every second of every day of what he does to see, and also read into his heart and his mind and his feel and his comfort level, mobility wise and reaction wise and everything, to see where he fits. So yeah, honestly, my evaluation of how and when and where to slide him back into this rotation has nothing to do with this St. John's game, everything to do with him and where he is. And that's the way it should be. That's the way we should treat all our players.
At least initially, would he be on any kind of limit restriction, or if he's cleared, he'd be full go?
Well, yeah, I mean, when he goes, he's going to be on a restriction for sure. Just because there's the conditioning part. When you haven't hit guys and run around and change direction and respond to the unpredictable movements. Fatigue is your enemy, and it's not just fatigue with the injury you're recovering from. It's fatigue with every part of your body, because you just don't. Some of your natural instincts are just going to be declined, right? They're just going to be a little bit in decline, and that's shaking off the rust is the general term. So his safety is paramount, and I also don't need to protect him. He's a monster, right? So it's both those things are true. We're just going to be really smart about and intentional about how we do this, and we're taking in information every single day. Like I said, the first time I ever got to see him cross half court was 2 days ago, and so we'll just handle this the best way for him.
I know it may or may not happen Saturday with JQ coming back, but for some of the other guys in the front court, the Brandon Garrisons of the world, Malachi Morenos, I guess how does maybe inserting another guy into that rotation affect them, and do you need to see them step up in any areas to continue to have the playing time they've had so far?
It should make it really fun. It should make it fun. It should make it really, really fun. Just to be able to come in waves, and I love the idea of guys being able to just build off each other's intensity and effort, and it's a pretty special thing when you can be on the court and not manage energy ever, meaning you don't have to. Like, you can do every single thing that you do on the court as hard as you possibly can for as long as you possibly can, and know that the next guy's going to come and do the same. That's actually a pretty great feeling. And so we have guys that are have the mindset to do it, that are capable of doing it, that could be really great doing it, and it could form a really formidable team, and it could also propel our guys individually to be really successful.
Mark, this is another big blue mist city. There's something exciting about kind of the redemption factor, knowing just the immediate turnaround come 2 weeks off of how things unfolded in Nashville?
Yeah, I mean, Nashville was really miserable. So Atlanta's a special, just like Nashville is. Atlanta's a really special place to me and my Kentucky tenure from when I was a player here, playing in the SEC tournament there, and then we had a great experience there last year, and Catlanta it's that for a reason, right? It's like second home to Kentucky, and so it's important for us to go perform well there, like it is everywhere. But I love every time we get to go play there. It's special.
Coach Pitino used to kind of get on to a player, even if he didn't make a mistake. I think John Pelfrey was maybe the first one. He would get on to him.
John would say that he was the first one, although he might not have been, but yes. I think Billy Donovan would say he was the first one. I think Delray would say that. But yeah.
First one at Kentucky. Who was it with your teams?
Me. Coach, man. Whew. The thing is, we had 15 players on that team, and I think every single one of the players would answer that question the same. I think Anthony Epps would have said me. I think Walter would have said me. I know Rod Rhodes would have said me. Tony definitely would have said me. Shep would have definitely said me. I mean, not me as in Mark Pope, but Shep would have said Coach got on me more than anybody else. And that's one of the great gifts that Coach Coach gives to his players is that every single one thinks that they're the most abused player on the team. It's a magical thing. It's why his teams turn out so great. Okay, thanks guys.
Back to